Today on Simple Food, Simple Life, we're going to talk about bone broth. Hello, it's me, Robin, with Simple Food, Simple Life. I want to show you something real quick. Yesterday, I made a batch of bone broth, and this is chicken bone broth. And I made it in my pressure cooker. It's just easier that way, and once your pressure comes up, I do mine at 15 pounds of pressure, and then I do it for an hour. So that really takes all of the, it helps the bones to break down, because that's what you want. You want all that collagen in your broth. It's good for your intestinal health, by the way. So what I do is, if you want a fat-free broth, just simply when it cools down enough to put in your refrigerator, just take your jars of broth, put it in the refrigerator, and it will, the fat floats to the top and it coagulates, and then you can just remove it from your broth. Now, this broth has been put through a sieve, a strainer, so it's pretty clear, or rather I probably should say opaque. But now, you're not going to be able to get 100% of the fat off, but you know what, even if usually when you buy chicken broth in the store, it's not 100% fat free, is it? I think, what is it, usually 99%. So I just loosened it around the edge with my, see if you can see this. I think you can. Okay. I just loosened it around the edge with my knife, and I'm just taking a spoon, and I've just got a little container here, and I'm just going to scoop it out, and then I'll show you what's underneath that. Now, there is a few fine specks in the bottom of the broth, but not that much, because I wanted this to be more clear. And what I did was I salvaged my chicken from there too. And all I did, I did 5 pounds of chicken legs and thighs, because there was a sale on at the store. They were 88 cents a pound, so I thought, well, that's a good chance to make my broth. So here you go. Now you can see, can you see what that looks like? It's gelatinous. That's what you're looking for in your bone broth. That means that the collagen from the bones have come out into the broth, and that's where the goodness is, especially for your intestinal health. Okay? All right, now I have these other 3 jars to do. I'm going to do that. Now, if you want to discard this, that's okay, you can. I don't. I get it, and then I'll put it in the freezer, and it's amazingly enough, chicken fat is good to cook with, and I can just, 1 tablespoon goes so much farther than, say, for example, a tablespoon of vegetable oil of any kind. It really goes a long way. So, and it's good for many things. To fry potatoes in chicken fat is wonderful. It's really tasty. Okay, so I'm going to continue to take this fat off of here, and then I'll show you what we have. Alright, I rendered the fat from the top of the chicken broth, and this is how much fat there is here. Now, I do have some chicken fat left from a previous batch that I am using up, and I don't want to put the new on top of the old, so this is going to get a lid put on it, and I'm going to put this in the freezer until I'm ready to use it. So, there you go. Beautiful chicken fat. Do what you will with it, but this is what I do with it. Now, let's stop and think about this. There's 4 quarts of chicken bone broth that cost me under $5 plus my time to prepare it. And frankly, you're looking at about an hour and a half, maybe all total. And I I put my 4 or 5 pounds of chicken quarters in my pressure cooker, and I added no salt, no pepper, no seasoning, just about a teaspoon or so of apple cider vinegar to help draw the collagen out of the bones. And believe me when I say the bones were falling apart. I have a link on how to do bone broth. I will, in the pressure cooker, by the way. So I will link that down below. But in the meantime, for those of you who have intestinal health problems, I just want to share with you this article that was on drax.com, and I'll put a link to this article below in the description box also. But bone broth is good for the gut. And we're talking about bone broth, not just regular broth that you buy in the store. That's fairly weak. But the bone broth, it says that studies show that gelatin, and I'm reading from drax.com, that gelatin is beneficial for restoring strength of the gut lining and fighting food sensitivities such as to wheat or dairy, helping with the growth of probiotics, that's good bacteria, in the gut and supporting healthy inflammation levels in the digestive tract. A report published in the Journal of Clinical Gastroenterology found that gelatin effectively supports intestinal health and integrity. Bone broth is easily digested. It's soothing to the digestive system, unlike other foods, and it's easy to break down. So, after all, a food is really only useful if you have the means of absorbing its nutrients. And it also says here that studies have found that in individuals with digestive imbalances, serum concentrations of collagen are decreased. Because the amino acids in collagen build the tissue that lines the colon and entire GI tract. Supplementing with collagen can support healthy digestive function. So I'll put a link to this article. I think it's really good. And in actuality, my little dog, is a Shih Tzu. She has digestive issues. So on her dog food, I put a couple of tablespoons of the bone broth when I give her dog food. She loves it, she eats it, and it really helps her gut health. So that's what I do for her. I consume this myself. And so even though I don't have those intestinal issues, I just think bone broth is good for me. So, all right, if you have any questions, be sure and comment below, and like, share, and be sure and subscribe and click the little bell so that you don't miss out on anything. And I just want to show you this, and if you can see how really beautiful this is, it's a wonderful, wonderful thing that you can make at home. Now, there are other means to cook the broth. You can do it in a kettle, in your crock pot, etc. But I love my pressure cooker, and so I do use it for this. Okay? All right, listen, I love you. If I can do it, you can do it. And this is just a little thing I think that will help you. And how inexpensive is this? It's very simple to make, very inexpensive, so that you always have homemade chicken broth and bone broth. And this can also be frozen too. So just if you freeze it in the jar, just make sure you leave some headroom so that you're not breaking your jars. Okay? And another little hint too, just real quick, put it in an ice cube tray and freeze it, and then you will have these beautiful broth cubes whenever you need them for a touch of broth in anything. Okay? All right, listen, I love you. If I can do it, you can do it. Okay? You know you can. I got faith in you. All right, you just remember that little is much when God is in it. Okay, love you. Bye. Hello, P.S. It's me again, Robin, with Simple Food, Simple Life. Don't go anywhere yet, because I wanted to tell you about Brenda B. Martin's Facebook page. She is a terrific lady, and she has a Facebook page that is your online intestinal wellness resource. So you want to make sure and be sure and check that out, Brenda B. Martin, and like her page, because there's a lot of good information on there. And I personally do not have these issues, but I enjoy her page because she is very encouraging. 3 days a week she does Facebook Live, and she might take a walk or go to the park or do all kinds of things while she's chatting with you. And I think that you will really, really enjoy what she has to say. She's very, very encouraging. She's going through her own leaky gut issues right now, and it's brought a big change to her life. So I think there are a lot of you who could relate to that. Okay, all right. I just want to be sure and tell you that, and go like her page, and I'll put the link down below in the description so you can do that very easily. Okay? All right. Love ya. I'll talk to you later. Bye.